The rotational dating is when a woman is being courted by multiple men.
To describe to you how you should consider your roster.
You should always be rotational dating, aka dating 2 to 3 men at a time.
I am known as someone that is a serial dater.
Ever since I've been old enough to experience true romance, I've been a serial dater.
How many breakups can someone deal with in their life?
Why do men think it's appropriate to approach women in public?
Because men really are so dumb.
I have been accused of being extremely confrontational, and I own that with my whole chest.
Ladies, let me remind you of something. You do not need a man.
I'm a strong, independent woman that doesn't need no man, okay?
What is your body count?
Honestly, about 21.
Around 40?
A girl like you, you'd be in the 70s. 75, 75.
I went through like a period where like I just kind of wanted to like have a roster of pretty boys.
Like 20, something like that. Yeah, like in a week.
It was 23 guys trying, yeah.
So why were they saying it was 100? Have you seen it?
No,
that's a
yes,
different thing.
that's a different thing.
How many people did you have in rotation at your highest point?
Get ready with me while I tell you a story about a time I cheated on my boyfriend and don't regret it.
Man will always fail you. They will always leave you. They will always abandon you. They'll always disappoint you.
I need to struggle. I can do that on my own. Thank you. I don't need a man to struggle with. That makes no sense.
All men cheat, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So, I can cook, I can clean. I'm pretty. Get me out of this country, please. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I was not.
When you wonder why your girl wasn't answering the phone last night.
Ow. Like, hard as fuck sleeping. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
I don't know what it
Yeah, she was definitely sleeping.
is, but I could be romantically involved with somebody for like 10 years and then they could walk away and I'd be like, you know what? End of a chapter. But if I'm only talking to somebody for like a month or two and they walk out the door, call the police, call the paramedics. I'm dying.
Guys that have emotional intelligence. Guys that are self-aware. Guys that go to therapy.
And that's why they're still single.
Men get so offended when hot and successful women also want to date hot and successful men. And obviously the term success is like very subjective, but if a woman is doing well for herself, why would she not expect that out of her life partner?
Yeah, and that's all fine and good, I get it. But you have to expect that if you want to date a man that makes as much money as you or more, all the other women, all of them, want the same kind of guy. So if you find that guy is hot and has a lot of money, you have a very, very, very high competition from other women. So what are you bringing to the table that is different from those other women? Because we don't care about your money.
Make it make sense, guys. How much an alpha man, and I'm only talking the real men, should be spending on a wedding ring? I was always taught, at least in my circle, that a guy should spend 3 months of his salary on the wedding ring. So if you're making about 100,000 a year, what is it, divided by 12 times 3 should be about like what, 25,000? Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, it's a wedding ring. It's what she's going to have on her finger forever. You better invest in that. I mean, honestly, if you're not making over 100,000 a year, you have no right to be married. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
And that's why she's still single.
What your car says about you as a man. What your car says about you as a man, part 2. My deal breakers when it comes to dating. Judging men based off their shoe. Okay, let's go. What your hobby says about you as a guy. Worst zodiac signs as men. If you are any of these signs, you are automatically a red flag. Number 1, we have the Gemini.
If women start talking about zodiac signs from the start, they are a red flag. How can you logically want to date somebody based on when they were born? That's so stupid.
These are my rules for dating as a 35-year-old woman who has been married twice and is looking for something very specific.
A lot of men keep sliding into my DMs and they keep asking me, well, American men ask me if I'm single, and then they ask me how old I am. And Arab men ask me if I'm single and if I'm a virgin. And to the American men, I say, yes, I'm single. But
of course, Western men are not so delusional to think that a Western woman like her is a virgin. So they just want to know how old you are. And if you're single, of course.
Stop asking. I'm 29. I just turned 29. And to the Arab men, yes, I'm single. And no, I'm not a virgin, okay? So please, like...
I hit 30 and I just became a different person. It was bizarre.
I did the same thing. It's called Saturn's return. So when you're 30, between the 20s, I think it's 27 and 32, when Saturn returns, it means that Saturn's in exactly the same point in the sky as was when you were born.
And there are so many, I'm sure there are so many simps out there that think that she's the most beautiful woman on earth. My guy, it doesn't matter. When you give your attention, your love, your time, whatever, to a woman that doesn't deserve it, you're a simp. And the woman talking about how she's changed because of Saturn doesn't deserve anything from a man.
Between the ages of 35 to 42, we enter into our spiritual awakening cycle. The reason that 38 is particularly challenging is because 3 + 8 = 11. And in the soul contract work that I do, working with...
And you keep telling me that women are the problem. Look, my eye's twitching again like yesterday. No, they are so delusional because the men in their life allow them to be so delusional. They never said to them, stop it. You sound crazy, stop it. It's because of the men, because the men in their lives were so big simps. Stop being a simp. Stop giving women like this attention. Stop talking to women like this.
Never let a woman change who you are or your personality. Ever. To give you an analogy, this is her job. Her job, okay, if your favorite color is blue, her job is to see if she can get you to wear purple. And then she will even take it a...
They all want the chads. They all want the bad boys. But then they try to change them. And it never works out for them because you can't change Chad. Because Chad doesn't want to change for you. Why? Because he has 100 like you. You're nothing special.
A step further, and she will see if she can get you to change your favorite color from blue to purple. That's how deep this goes. It's congruency tests. It's making sure that deep down, the man is who he claims he is.
I don't know what women you've been dating, but there are women out there that will worship the ground you walk on. There are women out there that will appreciate your hard work, your providing, your time and your attention. There's women out there that would do everything to keep you just as happy as you would keep them.
I'm sure there are. I never said that they're not. But those are the exception. Those are not the rule. The majority of women are not like that, especially in the West.
I was making a video about why men unalive themselves, and there were women in the comments bringing up how they deserved it.
So I just dropped the little 3.
It doesn't surprise me. I get messages like that from women, yeah.
Off with their dad for the weekend, and every time I leave that house, I think I have to leave my kids 10 days a month with the man that I trust the least, that I like the least, and the person I want to influence my children the least.
Okay, then why did you make children with that guy that you trust the least? I don't get how they brag about the father being such a bad guy, but yet they don't understand you made children with that guy. So what does that say about you?
And those emotions are tough. So next time you see a single mom, just give her a big hug and ask her how she's doing. Make sure that she knows that you're there to support her, love her, and man.
Yeah, so basically you should never assume that it's their fault for being a single mother. You should just cuddle them. Of course.
Pray for those kids. They need it.
63% of men are now single, whilst only 34% of women are single. This is from Pew Research. What is the...
Yeah, I will put the study on the screen so you can see it.
The most amount of dates you've had in 1 week?
In 1 week?
1 week, correct.
I would say 5.
Even an average girl, like 5 out of 10 girl, she can go on a date every single night of the week. And that's just like how society is right now. The thing is, guys are fully aware of this. Guys know that, like, okay, I'm going to be her Tuesday slot. Then there's going to be a Wednesday and a Thursday, right? One of the big things...
If you know that and you keep hanging around and you just go out with her and you pay for her meals and you compete with other guys, my guy, then you can't complain that all women are like that because you chose to be in that situation. Nobody's forcing you to be there.
Things that we see right now is men are going their own way because it's gotten to the point where guys aren't feeling respected in the dating market. They just feel like they're being used for money and that respect element isn't there. So from a girl's point of view, there are some girls who will just go on like date after date after date, still expect the guy to pay for every single one. The traditional standard for the guy of being the gentleman, being the one who pays, that's still there. But then the ladylike aspect for the women, that's no longer a thing, right?
The men that are worried that women are going to use them for their money and only want a sugar daddy are the ones who have zero money. Men who have money do not care that women want to use them for their money.
Yes, and all the women that talk like her are all single. I wonder why that is.
He was not satisfied at home. I don't know how many different girlfriends he had during this time, but I think there were quite a few. Young women, listen to my advice. If you're married and you think you're happily married and your husband starts to cheat on you, he's a piece of shit.
Okay, so just listen. He cheated, okay, he's a piece of shit. Now listen to what the reporter asks.
And look at him as a piece of shit and get out of it.
Didn't you have an affair early on in the relationship or when you were a stockbroker?
Yeah, but I don't think Andy ever knew about that.
He did say he knew about it.
He did?
Yes, you would confess to him.
Oh.
He says
He knew and he still stayed. Of course, he's a simp, but can you see the double standard?
he didn't stray from the marriage until you told him you had already strayed.
Oh, that's not true. I don't think.
But what happened? You had an affair?
I had a very brief affair with
a very attractive Irishman. That guy was definitely more attractive than her husband.
a very attractive Irish man. And it was just nothing.
For the woman that say, I don't need a man, analyze that statement. I said it for many years. I would end up in relationships. The man felt unneeded and he cheated on me.
Or he leaves.
Not that I cared too much because I was never going to marry him anyway, but it hurt. Do you want to be with a man that doesn't need you, who's going to go do whatever he wants to do anyway and doesn't care about you and doesn't take your thoughts or feelings into consideration? Hell no. Everyone wants to be needed. So if you don't need a man, you don't need a man. Go be single. Go do what you want to do. You might.
If you don't need a man, why are you still making TikTok videos about men? You shouldn't care about what men say. You shouldn't talk about men. You should just enjoy your life. But they don't do that.
Might not need a man with the guys that you've been picking.
Why do you want to be treated like a lady?
Because I'm a lady.
Are you?
Yes, just like Marilyn Monroe.
Most women, and I repeat, most women today in the West are not ladies. They're not. They don't even understand what a lady should be.
Just like Melania Trump is.
So you want to be treated like a lady, but you admitted earlier to being a prostitute.
And you don't think this can be ladies?
No.
You don't.
What did I tell you? They don't even know what a lady is. They think they can do whatever they want and still be called a lady.
You don't think ladies could act like prostitutes as well? Opinion is opinion.
Well, it's possible that you could act like a lady, but acting like a lady would entail not being a sex worker.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So explain to me what it means to be a lady.
Being a lady means that you demand respect, from men, that you present yourself.
You don't respect yourself.
Yes,
you're a sex worker.
Of course I respect myself. I'm getting paid for instead of receiving it for
you're
free.
Literally not respecting yourself.
In your book, in my book, I am. Respect means that you're going to allow someone to pay you for your services. Disrespect means that you're going to let them do it for free.
Oh my God.
It's a double standard.
Wait, how's it a double standard?
Like women sometimes don't mind if a guy has had multiple partners.
Yeah.
But then when you ask the man the same question, they want their woman to be virgins or.
Yes, because women like men that have experience, that know what they're doing, that have game. They don't like the geeks that don't know how to talk to women. Those are the virgins. But you don't like that. You like the bad boys. But we as men don't look for the same things in women as you do in men.
or have very few partners.
Well, how would that be a double standard, though?
But before we even ask that, I just have to ask you a very quick question, Christy. Do you think that there are women who wear heels who are sexy?
Not all women that wear heels look
No,
sexy.
no, not all, of course. But you don't object to women wearing heels, right?
Correct.
Would you object to a man wearing heels?
If I'm dating him, yes.
No, well, what kind of double standard is that?
I want my man to be masculine. That's my personal preference. So
Right,
heels
so
is out of
preference. So then it's not a double standard when it comes down to preference, right?
Well, I guess so then.
This guy says that all men are open to something serious if the woman is attractive enough. This is only an issue when the girls are dating up and the guys are dating down.
No, that's not always the case, my guy. You are a simp if you're just going after looks. My guy, I did it. I was a big simp when I was younger. I only dated women based on looks. And what good did it bring me? What good? 2 failed long-term relationships. 2. Years of my life wasted. Why? When I could have saved myself from the start. So if you just based your relationships on looks, that's why you're still single, my guy.
So he thinks I wasn't attractive enough to date those guys, which is fair enough. But I've got about 20 instances where I can prove you wrong. I've been back on the dating apps for like 2 weeks now after an 8-month break, and I have seen 20 of the guys from the 50 guys list. And I haven't dated most of those now in at least 1, 2, 3 years. So are you telling me that out of all of those 20 men, not a single one of them has found a woman attractive enough for them to make her their girlfriend?
You don't get it. Those guys that have success on dating apps don't want a girlfriend. They want to be on dating apps because they can smash this girl and that girl and that girl and that girl. They don't want to be in a relationship. Not all men want relationships.
Because what I think the reality of this situation is, there are just a lot of men on the dating apps that don't want to settle down, or they do want to settle down and they aren't capable because they've got emotional issues. I think that's a more...
No, the more attractive they are, the more options they have. So why would they just be with one woman when they can have 20, 100? Why? It doesn't make sense logically. But of course, women don't think logically. They think based on emotions.
Realistic way of looking at it.
The female fantasy when it comes to romance is her finding a man or her coming across a man that is bad or that is even slightly evil, and she slowly convinces him to be good only for her.
Exactly what I've said. They want the chads, but then they want to change the chads to not be a chad anymore.
This right here is women's core fantasy when it comes to attraction and when it comes to the type of relationship that they want.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing as Beauty and the Beast.
And here's the thing that most men don't understand. The men in these romance novels who possess bad boy traits, she feels much safer with them than she does the nice guy because of the attitude that they are willing to display. Once you start to understand that her core fantasy is polar opposite to yours, which is probably finding a loyal, loving wife who loves you forever and will be by your side. Once you understand that her fantasy of romance is polar opposite, only then can you actually start to make real progress in your relationship.
Men and women need to understand that we are totally different. We look for totally different stuff. We want totally different things. We think totally different.
The number one reason why a man doesn't get the lady of his dreams is he's too much in his feminine and not in his masculine. Take the state.
This is so stupid. So it has nothing to do with how he looks, his height, his status, how much money he has. No. It's all about because you're too feminine.
Statement, I just want to be friends with you. A feminine man would see this as a rejection, instead of seeing it as an opportunity and celebrating the fact that she wants him in her life.
This is one of the most stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. So if a woman friend zones you, you should be happy. Oh my God. Why do I subject myself to reacting to videos like this in each video?
How do you show respect to your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, all sorts of ways. I basically give her whatever the hell she wants. I adore her. But here's the thing. The reason that I do this is because if I say, this is what ultimately is going to happen, that's the last word in it, and I don't even want to have the conversation, we don't. Now, she may really want to, and I can tell sometimes that she really does, but I don't fucking care because it's my decision ultimately.
So you don't care about how she feels?
I don't know. I didn't say I didn't care how she feels. I just don't care to have her question my authority, autonomy over the marriage.
Was there an initial conversation prior to that, or is it just like, we're doing this, don't ask me
Depends
about
on
it?
the context.
I would say more for like bigger decisions in life, not necessarily like little things.
Even
I
larger
think it's very
decisions, if
situational.
ultimately, let's say I went home and I said, we're moving to Nevada in 3 weeks, get your bags packed, and I'm not going to have a I don't want to hear a word about it. You're doing it, and that's the way it's going.
And you think that's respectful?
I think that ultimately it's my choice.
Okay.
It has everything to do with respect. It shows how much she respects you and your authority, and how much she trusts your wisdom.
Okay,
And
but
how
do you
she
think
shows
that's
me
respectful?
respect. Yeah, that's how she shows me respect.
Yeah.
He doesn't want you. That's why he's not making plans with you. I got a
True.
lot of single girlies in this family, and we did have this chat last year, but it seems like we need another one. And of course I can speak on this because this is how I got wifed up and had all of you, my kids. If you're like, I can't tell if he likes me. He doesn't. Listen to me. If he wants
If a guy really likes you, he will show you. If he's indecisive, he doesn't like you. And it's the same with women. My guy, if she is indecisive or she plays hard to get, she's not that into you. Listen to me. She doesn't play hard to get for Chad. She doesn't play hard to get for the bad boy. The bad boy didn't have to take her to a fancy restaurant. He just called her up, went to her place, and smashed. That's it.
wanted you, you would know. He would do anything. He would swim through shark-infested waters. He would move heaven and earth. He would walk barefoot on broken glass.
No. That's what a simp would do. A logical man would think, why would she want me to do that? Why would she want me to go through all of that, suffer for her? Why?
Just to get to you. If he wanted you. He's not calling because he doesn't want you. He's not texting you because he doesn't want you. I know I sound harsh, but sometimes a mother needs to give tough love. You've heard it before. If he wanted to, he would. Because if he wanted to, he would. Here's the mindset switch, though. A man will really love a woman when she really loves herself, when she really prioritizes herself.
What? I really thought she was giving good advice until now. So, this is so stupid. Why would a man love you even more if you're loving yourself more? No, a man will love you more when you show him respect, when you show him that you love him more.
I'm going to give you a secret about relationships with women. Most women, there's a lot of great women out there, I'm not talking about all of them, but a large majority of women, they crave attention and validation. It's like porn to them. They get addicted to it. When women act poorly, what they want is some validation or attention for their bad behavior. Even if it's bad attention, it can still be what a woman wants. As men, if you want to be in a healthy relationship with a woman, you cannot tolerate bad behavior. I'm not talking about a difference of preference or opinion. I'm talking about disrespect. I'm talking about toxic behavior, harmful behavior to you or your family.
If you tolerate disrespect from a woman and you think it's normal just because you love her, you're a simp. Don't come to me and then say, oh, well, she cheated. Oh, well, she left. It's all because of you, my guy. You were a simp. Just admit it, take accountability, and move on. And learn from your mistakes.
If a woman feels comfortable treating you poorly or doing something that's destructive to the relationship, you as a man cannot give her any attention for that. You have to cut it off. You don't engage in it, you don't try and rationalize with it, and you don't try to get her to see your point. Logic will never help you. It won't work. You have to just cut it off. So if she talks poorly to you, you leave. You distance yourself from that. You don't engage in that. And then you come back when it's calmed down and you make sure she understands why you had to separate yourself. Do not ever validate that bad behavior, because what happens is if you validate it, when it's really hard not to do, because women will start crying, they'll start getting emotional. They're very, very good at manipulating men. And then we as men want to protect them, and we want to also find blame with ourselves in the issue. And so we'll validate this behavior, and what it does is it increases that behavior. It doesn't make it go away. You can't negotiate with this. It's the only way to approach a woman if you want to have a good health.
You can't negotiate when they're emotional. Everything you say, even if you use logic, it doesn't matter to them because they're emotional and they don't understand logic. So just leave. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.